I want to ask you this question and I want you to answer honestly. What is it that you know you have to let go of in order for you to finally step in to the wealthy woman, into this woman, the vision that you have for who you are, who she is, everything that she embodies? What is it that you have to let go of? Because there is something that is holding you back, that is preventing you from being able to collapse time, preventing you from stepping fully into her, into this reality. Okay, because the desires of your heart, I truly believe the desires of your heart were given to you for a reason. And it is by design, it's not by accident. Like God would not give you the desires of your heart and say, okay, but you can't ever have it. It's like, no, this is what's possible for you. But are you open and willing to do your part? That's co-creation. That's part of the manifestation process is you co-create with God. So what is it that you are holding on to that you would need to release and let go of? Is it limiting beliefs? Okay. I want you to work through that. I want you to write down every single thing that you've been thinking. It's like, okay, I've been thinking this, I've been believing this, I've been holding on to this. Like, get that down on paper. If you're ready inside of the academy, I walk you through that process. I want you to get that down on paper where you're just doing a stream of consciousness. Something that works really well is if you were just to take your computer, honestly, like grab your keyboard, nothing fancy, right? Go on a Google Doc, close your eyes, and allow yourself from that place to just do a stream of consciousness writing. Okay. I feel that this oftentimes works so much better, especially for those of you who, like myself, have ADHD and your brain is moving so fast, but then it feels like your writing isn't catching up to it. So getting that on a keyboard, like using a keyboard, opening up a Google Doc, I'm gonna type down every single thing that I'm thinking. You want to journal? Okay. What are all the thoughts that I have? What is it that is either keeping me up at night or when something is coming to me or I'm starting to see movement and I notice like I'm not feeling good about it. Okay? Because I want you to be able to move through things, to be able to shift through things quickly. And that comes with practice. That comes with you realizing that, oh, I had these thoughts and you're going to recognize it when you see it over and over again, keep on coming up. It's like, okay, what are the thoughts that I have? It's like, okay, how did this, why am I holding on to this? When we hold on to something, it's because it's serving us. Usually it's protecting us in some way. I know it's super weird, but that's how our subconscious mind works. It's like, okay, this is unfamiliar. This is making me feel uncomfortable. Let me get back to being comfortable. That's why so many of us never move past our comfort zone because who you are now, who you were, that's like where you're playing in being comfortable. And it's now you're now ready to go, okay, how do I then move past that into the realm of infinite possibilities is at each level, and I talk about this all the time, it's like you have to expand your emotional capacity to hold more. You have to heal the your relationship with responsibility. Okay? Because that's what money is. That's what more wealth is. It's a responsibility. Yes, money is itself is neutral, but if you're already feeling overwhelmed with what you have right now, if you're already feeling overwhelmed with the, I don't want to say little amount of money you have, but whatever you have in your bank account, it's like, okay, when I have this, we think that when we have more money, our responsibility decreases. And that could be further from the truth. The truth of the matter is, the more money you have, the more responsibility you have. The more your business grows, the more responsibility you have. And you have to be able to expand your capacity to hold more, your capacity then to run a business at scale, your capacity to be able to circulate a larger amount of money. And your nervous system is going to feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do this, whatever it is. That's the reason I said, whatever you feel like is still holding you back, write it down, move through it. Okay, how is this serving me? What does it think is protecting me from? It's the same as when I lead you through a tap. So I want you to do it two ways, not one of two ways, two ways, because you're going to do this consciously. That's what it is when you take pen to paper and you're, allowing yourself to write it down where you're like, okay, consciously, this is what I believe I'm thinking. This is what I believe is holding you back, holding me back. This is what I believe it is doing to help keep me safe. That's where you're working with the conscious mind. So when you're actually journaling, you're actually working with the conscious mind because you're taking pen to paper and you're just using that part of you. It's like, this is what I think. Then you do the EFT tap. That is always available for you. For those of you who are inside Academy, that's already available for you. For those of you who are already watching this, you can search EFT inside of my channel and it's on there where I have a very specific way for you to move through, especially if it's a money block. Don't skip over. You're going to be tempted to skip over it because you think that if you just have if you have a limiting belief and you come up with a positive affirmation that voila, it's going to disappear. And I'm going to tell you right now that could be further from the truth because if that was true, you would be a billionaire right now, by now, right? Or you would be much further than you are right now. But you keep coming back to it. Why? Because you're only working with it on the conscious level. So we got to get you from your head into your body. Let's clear what's going on with the nervous system. Let's clear what's being held at the cellular level so you can rewrite it. That's what you're doing. And so identify it, write it down, type it. You can even do a voice note if you want to put it on ChatGPT and then have it summarize it for you. If you're someone who likes to speak out loud and you like just hate the idea of typing and just don't like writing, like I never want you to feel like, oh, I absolutely have to journal. You absolutely don't have to. If you're not someone who's like, I don't really want to type, then don't type. Beautiful. Amazing. Get on, there's like a voice notes app that you can do. You can even, if you have ChatGPT, like the app on your phone, you can even talk to it directly. You can do it that way. But what I want you to be able to do is think through what are the beliefs that have been like constant for you because it is 2025. 2025. This is your year. This is your year. Okay? We're not going to step into 2026 holding on to the same beliefs, holding on to the same patterns, the same habits, the same way that you have been doing life over and over and over again. You have to set a new standard for yourself. And part of that is thinking through what are the beliefs that I've been holding on to? I need to release. I need to let go of that because I'm no longer available for that. Okay? Do that practice because if you're not where you want to be, where you have envisioned yourself in 2024, thinking 2025, this is where I was going to be, there's something's going on, both consciously and subconsciously. So you got to do that work. You're going to try to avoid it. You're just going to go straight into the strategy. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be annoyed. You're going to know why the strategy is not working. It works for other people, but not me. That coach scammed me. That doesn't actually work. Her method doesn't work. Da 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 da. Responsibility. I want you to step into radical responsibility because the wealthy woman takes radical responsibility for her life. Yes, bad things has happened to you, but you can't live your life where you keep allowing what has happened to you to define who you are. I don't know what age you are right now, but it's 2025. Okay? Who you were, she has served you. We're going to hug her. We're going to love on her. We're going to work on those parts as they come up. What I don't want you to do is feel like I have to heal my entire life before I can step into the wealthy woman. That's not how we collapse time. It's more so, I'm I can step into her now. I can step into her today. But what is it that I need to do? What are some of the thoughts that I keep thinking? What are some of the beliefs that I keep believing? Who are the people I keep surrounding myself with that causes me to go back to who I was? That's hard because your circle is really going to determine where you are in life. That's the reality of it. So I'm not saying drop your friends and get new friends. Not at all. I love my friends. But what I am saying is if as you expand, how do I put myself in spaces, into rooms with other people who are playing at a level that I want to be playing at, who are playing at a level that inspires me to, that moves me into action, where I'm not caught in this space of like spiraling. At some point, you have to get so sick and tired, so done, so fed up with where you are that you are willing to do everything, the inner work, the strategy, all of it. So that way you can step fully into the wealthy woman now, into your wealth identity. You are called to an abundant life. And the way that you have been living, if you're not happy where you are, you have to change that. That's radical responsibility. It's not saying that you are responsible and relinquishing anyone else of responsibility for the roles that they play to hurt you. But that may will require you, and a lot of you are going to hate me for this, when I say you're going to have to do some forgiveness work. I've had a client who told me I can't forgive her, and that's fine. But then the same thoughts, the same patterns, that same trauma keeps coming back up for her because she's holding on. Because if I withhold forgiveness from her, then I feel like I'm in my power. But what is happening is you're not releasing and letting go of that. So sometimes there's going to have to be forgiveness work. I'm not even going to say sometimes, oftentimes there is. There's not even just forgiveness of them for how they have hurt you, okay? But forgiveness of self. And that's hard as well. It's not easy. I'm not asking you to do work that's easy, okay? I've had, like for those of you who have been in my circle, you know that I've had, childhood trauma, I've had sexual trauma. Those wounds are real and it's hard to heal. And to hear someone say, you have to forgive, you have to move on, we don't do it for them. Forgiveness is never about them. It's about ourselves. It's about freeing ourselves. It's about releasing and letting go so we can step fully into our wealth identity, into stepping fully into who God has created us to be. That's really what it is. That's the work that we do. It's not forgiving them and saying they're not wrong. What they did was okay. How they hurt us was okay. It's not that. It's you forgiving that part of your past. If there are any lessons, I'm not talking past trauma now. If there's any lessons you can glean from any past experience you have, perhaps it's through coworkers, whatever it is, and in who you are, as hard as that is, that work is going to be required of you. It's going to show up in different levels of your business. And you may be thinking, it's like, well, Michelle, that doesn't make any sense. It's like my personal, I have this that would affect my business life. If you run a coaching business, you run an online business, you run really any type of business, when it has to do with money, especially all those things resurface and show back up where you don't feel safe. You don't allow yourself to be seen because it's not safe to be seen. Where you feel safer playing small. People won't judge you. People won't think you're greedy. You won't get hurt. Like all those things will rise to the surface. And so that work is going to be required of you. So the work is not easy. And I would never say that it is, but you're going to have to do that work. Okay? Because that's how we fully step into it, is we got to release, we got to let go. And as I'm saying, think through your circles. I'm not saying drop your friends, but what I am saying is add. You don't have to like release your friends and go, oh, unless of course your friends are like truly just not encouraging, not just if they are creating, if they are causing you in some way to behave and show up in that identity of the person you are no longer available for. I'm going to repeat that. You release and let go, or you limit your time with them if they are causing you to hold on to an identity that you yourself are still working on, releasing and letting go of. Okay. So, for example, if did struggle with things like alcohol addiction or something, like you're not going to surround yourself, you're not going to go to the bar and hang out with people who are drinking, right? Because what's going to happen? The temptation is you're going to just start drinking, and it's so much harder. You're like literally fighting against your own like personal power, and you get exhausted over time because the temptation's there. And I want you to replace alcohol with the thoughts and the beliefs that runs in that circle that you're a part of. It's like these are the thoughts and the beliefs that they have. So one thing, for example, I try as much as I can to avoid conversations about the economy with people, about like how hard things are, prices are going up, all of that. Not because I'm like delusional. Maybe I am, right? You're manifesting a bit, but because of what it does to my money mindset, even after all the work I've done and all the work you've done, when you are allowing yourself to be influenced subconsciously, your subconscious mind, even though you're doing all the things, you're like, okay, I'm working on this. I stepping into my new wealth identity. I started doing the work. I started putting things in places for my business. I'm starting to expand. I'm starting to scale. I'm starting to bring in more clients. All this, your subconscious mind is in the background. No one's going to pay me. The economy is bad. Prices are going up. All of that. And I'm saying in this tone not to mock anyone or what's going on or anything like that. It's more so that's what's happening in the subconscious mind. It's thinking these thoughts, it creates beliefs, and now you go to launch and you're like, oh, why bother? No one's gonna pay me. Or you half a launch, you know what I'm saying? Where you kind of launch, but you didn't really launch. You're like, oh, here's my thing. Oh, no one signed the first day. Here's my thing. Here's the second thing. You're not vibrating at that higher level frequency because your belief system is being reinforced by the subconscious thoughts of other people. And now their energy, their thoughts is informing your mind, which informs the body. It's not safe. It's not safe for me to go out there and or it's uncomfortable, or what will people think of me? It's like, oh, remember that time when this happened? It's like, it's not safe. And so now you're not able to operate from that higher level to really show up as the wealthy woman, to really show up fully for your launch, to really show up in a way where it magnetizes and draws people to you. Okay. Because that's the level. People are going to first, they say people will always remember how you make them feel and how you make them feel. What is that? That's the frequency they vibrate at. And you can feel it when you're speaking to someone. You can feel when you're receiving from someone. Their authenticity, what draws you in, and what is repelling you. So then my encouragement to you is always put yourself in spaces where the energetic frequency of that is so high. Okay. For those of you inside the academy, I hold that vision for you. I hold that space for you. And I infuse so much of that into our conversations. That's the reason why you leave and you feel empowered. You leave and you feel clear. You feel at ease. You feel lighter. And you feel in this state of receptivity where you're ready to receive. You're ready to expand. You're ready to feel at ease. It's because of that. So put yourself in spaces. It could be, in a community like the academy. It can be your local networking group, whatever feels good for you, you're going to feel it and you're going to go, oh, this is not for me. You know right off the bat. And then you're going to enter a different space and you're like, oh, I feel like a contraction. This is how you know something's not for you. And it's just like, oh, that feels icky. That doesn't feel right. But expansion can be confused for that same sensation because expansion is going to feel uncomfortable. So when you feel like that contraction, it's like, okay, is this I feel icky or is this I feel uncomfortable? Because I've never had been involved in these types of conversations. I've never had, or maybe I'm learning to evolve the thoughts that I'm having, the habits that I'm creating for myself and for your life and business. And so that is my invitation to you. It's now telling yourself it's 2025. What am I no longer available for? What am I releasing? What are the thoughts? What are the beliefs? What are the people? The circles I need to release and let go of? Maybe it's the content. Okay? If you're, and the brain does this. The brain is, the brain likes to be comfortable and it does crazy things. Here's what I mean by this. Is you're going to, okay, I'm going to only consume positive content and all of this, and all of a sudden the brain will go, but I wonder what's happening around the world. Now, I'm not saying don't be informed. It's important, for you to be informed. Do live in the 3D world is important. You're like a spiritual being in a human, like, right, in a physical world. So you should be informed. But it's more so the brain will search for negative things. Why? Because it's what it's comfortable with, what it's used to. So instead of I'm going to get rid of this content, instead, I want you to focus on what am I going to replace the content with? Be intentional. Okay. If you're not following me on Instagram, why not? I'm just kidding. But you should follow me on Instagram. Love for you to follow me on Instagram. But I want you to replace, not just simply, I'm no longer available for this type of content. Instead, what am I replacing it with? What am I going to replace that content with? Because your brain is going to need stuff. As someone who's done a digital detox, I will tell you right now, it is very hard for your brain to go from like not consuming all types of content to like, oh, I'm just not going to be on my phone anymore. Unless you're doing a digital detox, which by the way, I highly recommend, and you can watch another video on that where I basically shared about going not completely off grid, but where I basically was like ditching my phone and social media and all the things because I needed a reset. Okay. Highly recommend. But I don't want you to go that route yet because your body, your mind is going to fight that 30 days with like where it's used to that dopamine hit and it's not getting it. It's going to be really, really challenging. Instead, what I highly suggest you do is what can I replace this content with? What is inspiring? Who am I hold to? What draws me to that person? And I'm not saying it just has to be like self-improvement, all that jazz all the time. But instead, I want you to think through, it's like, okay, how can I, um, instead of that piece of content, let me think through what content I can explore, look into that would actually fill my cup. It could be something funny. You want to find someone who's funny, someone who's like relatable. You can have multiple people that you're following. For anyone else, where it's just like mute them, it's okay if you mute people. Okay? Because you're trying to operate at a higher frequency. You're trying to show up as the wealthy woman now. What would she do? How would she show up? Who are the people she would interact with? What spaces would she enter? What kind of conversations would she have? What decisions would she make about her business? What decisions would she make as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a daughter, whatever that is? As you begin shifting your wealth identity, you're going to see a domino effect of how it affects every area of your life. Okay. And if you're stuck and you're thinking, I don't even know what that vision is, that's okay. I don't want you to skip into this is the vision I want if you don't know what that is. I want you to begin clearing those blocks. I want you to write down what are the beliefs I have been believing? What are the thoughts that I have? Start with thoughts. Thoughts are easy because thoughts are easy. Thoughts are easy for you to track. So write down all of your thoughts. Seriously, pick up your phone and just say, hey, ChatGPT, here are all my thoughts. Just want to share them with you. Here are all the limited beliefs that I've been thinking. Here's all the BS belief systems that I have been buying into. And I'm just going to voice note them to you. Or you have your keyboard and you're just going to do a stream of consciousness. Close your eyes. Here's all the thoughts that I've been thinking. Okay? Because this is going to help you. If you type it actually and plug it into ChatGPT, then you can ask it to create a list of all the beliefs that you have, all the thoughts that you've been thinking. It's like, okay, we need to untangle a couple things. We need to see how it's serving us. That's how we release and let go. How is this serving me? Because there's a reason why we hold on to the things that we do. And we don't just say, hey, I'm just gonna let this go. Instead, how did it serve you? Okay. Because that tells us why we were holding on to it. And I'm ready and willing to let this go now. And then if there's anyone to forgive, you forgive them. If it's, and usually it might involve something with you as well. And I forgive myself for the misunderstanding that. I forgive myself for believing that. I forgive myself for, you know, blank, whatever that is. And love her. Okay. We're not going to shame. We're not going to guilt. We're not going to go, Maya Angelou says, know better, do better. And it's okay. Give your younger self a big hug. Cheer her on. You love her. She's helped you to arrive where you are right now, today. It is because of everything that you've gone through and who she was then. So don't guilt her. Don't shame her. Don't look down on her. Love her, forgive her, move on. And now I'm ready and open and willing to step into my new wealth identity. What does that look like, right? For you. And so we release and let go because that helps give you the space for you then to co-create the life it is that you desire. And you do that and you're able to create a better picture that's clear. It's like having like tinted glasses and you only see bits and pieces of the vision, but it's still kind of blurry, right? Or you're trying to force a vision. When you're trying to force a vision, but it's like there's a filter there, that's what those beliefs are. That's what those thoughts are. So we're going to untangle them so you can have beliefs that are actually serving you in the season for who you're stepping into, who you want to embody in this year, this lifetime. And so I'm super excited for you to do this work. And I honor you so much for doing it because it's not easy work. It's really not. And so honor you truly for doing this work. And so think through those thoughts, think through the content you consume because that is taking up a huge part of your subconscious mind and think through the circles because people's voices, whether you want to give them credit or not, it is affecting your subconscious mind. Lessen that voice. Place yourself in spaces, in places where people are expansive, where people are having conversations that feels expansive to you, that excites you, that ignites something within you. Okay? Because that is going to help you collapse time and step into the wealthy woman now. All right, friends, I hope that was helpful for you, and I will catch you next time.